Hey everybody, week two, going into week two, we got the Hall of Famer Rick Wolf here with Loserball, and we are gonna put him up against ChatGPT like we did last week and see who he thinks. Rick, what do you have to say for yourself? How'd you do week one?
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm just I'm just kidding. I won.
Excellent. So
If
I'm
losing if
sorry. I'm
losing is the
sorry you won.
game, if the losing is the game, then I won.
Okay. Well, good, good. We gave out our cash prizes. We're in touch with the person to get their NFL jersey. So we're moving on to week two. We are excited. We've mixed it up a little bit. We've added a category. So all
Did you
right.
get rid of those
Good.
kickers yet?
What's that?
Did you get rid of those kickers yet?
Which tickers?
Kickers. Get rid of the
Oh, no,
kickers.
no, no. But that'll be our last category because Jake Moody got cut. So we had to eliminate him. Kickers
Ah.
is still there, but yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
I didn't put anything on kickers again this week.
Let's wait to get some feedback aside from Rick. So feel free to write us in, tell us what you think of the categories. But we've added a new one this week, and we'll talk about that. So first, let's go to players. Most quarterback turnovers this week, and we've got Bryce Young, Spencer. I'm just going to read it. Joe
Hmm.
Flacco, Spencer Rattler, J.J. McCarthy, Bryce Young, and Russell Wilson. Rick, take it away. Who you
Right.
got?
Well, there you go. For me, this one's easy. The San Francisco defense is good enough to defend against a team that doesn't have any good wide receivers. In With Spencer Rattler, so he's my guy. Didn't have the biggest multiplier, but I thought the other ones you saw J.J. McCarthy have a nice finish to that game. He started off really and rattled. Nice pun there. And Bryce Young probably the only one else to consider, but not going against as good a defense as Rattler is. So look, couple picks, maybe a fumble. Let's go with three turnovers for Rattler.
Nice. Yeah, I think he's a strong candidate. I don't have my picks called up. Oh wait, I do have my picks called up.
Call him
I
up.
took, I took, oh, I don't think I took. Oh,
Do
no, no, no.
do 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 do.
I took Bryce Young because
Yeah, and that's another solid one, but
yeah.
because the young quarterbacks, have more trouble. But J.J. McCarthy got a game ball last week. He finished the game, pulled out the win, and brought himself together in the second half. In the first half, he looked like an unmitigated disaster. We call that a UMD, if you care.
Well, and in
Um,
Loserball, we call that a shining star.
That's right. He was a shining star in the first half, and then an unmitigated disaster in the second half, which
Yeah.
gave you
I,
gave you the victory.
I'm concerned about the rookie, that they're talking about him. It was almost like a Joe Montana, John Candy moment. Did you hear about the huddle? Like the thing he said in
No,
the huddle?
no, I did not. No, I
I
did
think on the
not.
final drive or one of the drives, he looked around, he said, "Where would you rather be?" That's totally like a Super Bowl moment with Joe Montana when he's like,
Yeah,
"Hey, is that John Candy?"
yeah,
Like how calm he was.
yeah. A,
So,
a, a lot of people listening might be too young to understand that, but Harrison Barton,
yeah,
who was the offensive lineman, who
Harris,
was
right?
Harris Barton, who was really a close friend of Joe Montana's on the final drive, the drive where they scored the game-winning touchdown pass to John Taylor against the Bengals. Montana notices that John Candy's sitting in the front row in the end zone there and points him out in the middle of the huddle before he calls, Spider 2Y banana or whatever he called, in order to call the next play. But they're on the 40-yard line. They're not even close to, scoring yet. And he already like is just Joe Cool and has it all figured out. So,
Well, we would call him Joe Terrible because he is one of the
yeah,
all-time failures in loser ball. I mean, put him up there. I don't want to say he's the opposite of the GOAT, but yeah, we're not impressed with Joe Montana in loser ball, but we are impressed with his
he's
with
out.
his John Candy reference. So ChatGPT had Bryce Young. They said, given his week one performance, Young's turnover issues remain the most documented. He'll look to clean things up in week two, but there's little to suggest abrupt improvement. So, All right, that's Bryce Young. Next up, we have.
I'm just gonna say ChatGPT doesn't understand loser ball.
We
Just
need to
saying it.
train it.
Just saying it.
I hear you. All
You
right,
got to teach them the lexicon. Yeah.
least rushing it. Well, we have to get out into the world, and then we'll do it. Although actually, ChatGPT, a friend of mine, he said, "How do we spread the word about loser ball?" They actually did it. I'll send it to you, Rick. It was fun.
All right, nice.
Least rushing yards: Chase Brown, Christian McCaffrey, Ashton. How do you pronounce his last name?
Genty.
Genty. Jahmyr Gibbs, who's trying to defend his title from week one, 19 yards, and Jonathan Taylor. Rick, what do you
All right,
got?
well, I'll take Genty because I guess that may not be the pronunciation of his name, and as you know, I did once call DeMarco Murray Marco DeMurray, so I'm real and AJ Green AC Green, so I'm real good with the names.
Oh wow,
Um,
that's like a Lakers
yeah,
throwback.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. But look, the Chargers were pretty good against the run last week. You know, Genty still there's a thing that a lot of times rookies do is when they stretch a play out when and they wait for a hole to open instead of hitting the hole they're supposed to hit that's designed by the offensive coordinator. He's doing a lot of that right now, a little dancing in the hole instead of hitting it, and that's going to take him a little time to figure out. Another guy who had a real bad problem with that was Chris Johnson. And then like 3 years later, he had 2,000 yards rushing. Soon as you figure out how like you're not in charge of where you're supposed to run and you run through the hole and you study tendencies. This is something you may not know, but running backs don't like look and try to juke a player in front of them. They look at their number because every linebacker and every defensive back has a tendency and they memorize the tendencies. So they know that they're bad at going to the right or bad at going to the left, and then they fake the opposite way and go the way that they're bad at so that
Hmm.
beat they can beat defenders. So it's a much more heady game at running back than people think it is. And it's not just I'm the coolest and can juke. It's I study hard and figure out who has tendencies also.
Wow, and that's from your days as a D1 running back,
Yeah.
right?
That's from Steven Jackson, a former Rams running back who explained that to me. He
Wow,
said
that's
that all the
cool.
all the good running backs have to understand every tendency on every defensive player before they get on the field.
Well, hopefully for you, Genty will not have figured it out yet. ChatGPT is a little bit behind the time because they still think that Christian McCaffrey is going to have the least rushing yards because if he's limited or inactive. But he looked pretty bad last week at week one from a loser ball standpoint.
Yeah, no, he was awful. He was pathetically charging through the defense.
There you go, man. You're doing it. So they had Genty as number two, considering his slow debut and developing role. So that
Developing
is,
developing role. There's nobody else there. Raheem
uh,
Mostert didn't get a carry.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So that's that. All right, next category, last player category, beside your favorite, the kickers. Least receiving yards, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's also trying to defend from last week. AJ Brown, a different Brown, Lad McConkey, Nico Collins, and CeeDee Lamb. I'm
Yeah, and well,
assuming
let
you're not thinking CeeDee Lamb.
let's first just say that AJ Brown is going to tear apart the Chiefs. So
As ChatGPT has said, his lowest opener in recent memory.
yeah, but that's just because it was a different kind of game plan.
Hmm.
So and Kansas City stops the run. They're going to put eight in the box to stop Saquon and Jalen Hurts, and he's going to have to throw to somebody, and that's the time. That's the time when Brown shines. So he's out. The guy I like here is Lad McConkey because with Keenan Allen back, um, and performing awfully every week, and having that connection again with Herbert that we hate. Um,
Yeah,
you know,
he's a disaster.
Lad McConkey wasn't getting volume work like he was before. He's getting split work with Allen. I think you might see that again. You might see 6, 7 targets instead of 10 to 12, and that's just going to take the receiving yards away from McConkey.
So you have McConkey. ChatGPT, not really thinking about it the way you are, still looks like AJ Brown. week opener. Plus, well, it says against a defense that, though not shut down, has the capacity to limit big plays. You don't buy it. Nico
Yeah,
Collins
I'm not
they have
buying
at
it.
number two.
I'm not
It's-
buying it.
They're saying
You
if the
know,
Texans are pressured or forced to spread the ball, but may not be able to go deep, he may stay relatively lower.
yeah. Well, on my radio show, Glenn Colton, I was, 12 years on Sirius XM Fantasy. We had Tony La Russa on one time, and Tony La Russa said to me after our interview, he said, "I hope you manage in the major league sometime because I'd like to manage in your division." So look, I would like to play against ChatGPT every week. It doesn't seem like they have anything figured out there, bro.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't figured out where they how they did in week one, but we should put ChatGPT in as one of our players, as one of our contestants. All right.
Why not put them all? Put Perplexity in there. Put all the different AI things and have them compete against each other too.
I like it. If there's anyone that wants to intern for Loserball and wants to do that, then feel free to email us. info@loserball.com. I had Nico Collins, FYI, not that anyone cares what I had to say. Most team penalties. We just did this based on last week. New Orleans, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Houston, and Kansas City, who were the top five. Did you make a pick this week?
I did not pick that category.
All right. So then,
So, but
yeah,
I would say Houston at this point, you know, the most penalties again, I said this last week, come on the offensive side of the ball. They come from false starts and holdings and stuff like that. And I think for the case of Houston, um, the they have no running game, so they're going to have to pass protect all the time. And when you have to pass protect all the time, that means holdings and false starts. So
so I had Houston this week. Not a big prediction for me. ChatGPT is the Saints. I think they're just going based on last week. All right. Couple more. Most yards allowed. This is a new category. Rick, what do you think of this new category?
say again, what category?
Most yards allowed by a team. We
Oh,
had,
I like this one, but I didn't pick it again because it was too hard to figure out.
okay. We have Tampa Bay, New England, Tennessee, Arizona, and Pittsburgh. So, any thoughts? Well, no
Well,
one's holding
Pittsburgh
you
let
back.
up a lot of yards to a pathetic Jets team, so you know, I um not not looking at who they're playing, and I should know that, but
They
it was
are playing.
Pittsburgh has Seahawks at home, right?
Pittsburgh
And
has,
no, so it can't be that. The
yeah.
Seahawks can't get the Seahawks can't do anything in the air. That one's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Do you
So
see the other
maybe
teams?
maybe the Rams,
I don't think the Rams are in our. It's Tampa, New England,
Bengals.
Tennessee, Arizona, or Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I would probably say Arizona.
Okay. You actually were onto something that ChatGPT said. They have the Steelers as giving up the most yards, possibly up against a strong offensive opponent in week two. He
A running opponent, but not a.
ChatGPT writes says I've never seen that before. So I expect them to be pushed. It's a little freaky, right?
Well, you saw iRobot, so you probably know what's
That's true.
happening here.
So they even have yardage, projected yards. They think the Steelers are going to give up between 390 and 430 yards to the Seahawks. Sam Darnold, I
Will
don't think has
that
what
be
it
enough?
takes. Oh, I mean, I think he does have what it takes. Sorry, I confused myself. He has what it takes to not deliver.
He does,
Yeah,
in my
he's
opinion, too.
he's proven it. All right, and then your favorite. Oh, sorry, one more. Most points allowed. This is a fun one. The
Yeah, it's an easy one.
Browns. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cincinnati's pissed.
So you think it's the We got the Browns, the Jaguars, the Bears, the Jets against Buffalo, hint, hint, and Carolina against Arizona. But you think Jacksonville is gonna
Hmm.
give it up?
I think the Bills get ahead by 2 touchdowns and they play a conservative run game. They're not throwing the ball at Sauce Gardner, who's going to be covering Coleman, and they don't really have many other receivers. Who are they going to throw to? Shakir? Kincaid and Knox are not that good, so they have to have the running game going. And so they're just going to ground out the clock after they get ahead by 14.
You don't think the Jets are gonna put up the points the way they did against the Steelers?
No, no.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And Cincinnati's pissed, and Jamar Chase stinks so bad that he might catch 2 touchdowns.
He is awful. No,
Yeah, he's going to have 130 yards and 2 touchdowns.
they
It's going to
should
be pathetically awful.
they should bench him. They
Oh
should
God,
bench
it's
him. I'm
disgusting.
worried about him. Um, yeah, there's that's a problem. Is that Burrow just has too many bad options out there. Um,
Yeah,
ChatGPT likes the Jets. Even a strong Jets D can be stressed by that offense. They say 24 to 30 points that they're going to give up. And they have the
yeah,
Jags as fourth.
yeah. And Cincinnati's going to have 35 in the first half and be so pathetically ahead.
All right. Okay. We agree. I took the Jags. Okay. Your favorite category, missed kicks. Last night there were some fun missed kicks. Um, we had Jake Moody. He was my guy. But Jake Moody, a superstar in my mind.
Yeah,
Really, really clutch, and whether it's close, whether it's an extra point, anything, he can do it all. He's like a five-tool kicker.
yeah.
But the Niners felt differently, so hopefully he can catch on with another team and really shine. So that took him out of our top five. So we had four left. We had Tyler Loop, the rookie. Evan McPherson, who had a decent
Money
week last
Mac,
week. What's that?
Money Mac.
Yeah. Harrison Butker, and then I put in Brandon Aubrey just for fun. Just like he's got some. The odds on Brandon Aubrey are pretty high if you're willing to think that
He's
the
he's going to be
Giants.
last. He's going to be last in this category.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brandon. I was watching him last week. He looks like he's not kicking the ball, that he's kissing the ball. It's like it's so gentle and so loving the way he does it, and it just goes through. So
Yeah, yeah. You should have him kissing the loser ball logo.
anyone, any players that want to get in on the loser brawl action, we're excited. So who do you think out of the four
Yeah,
to the left?
throw darts at any of those three players and
All right. Well,
take
ChatGPT likes Evan McPherson, and I did too.
look
Most likely to miss the most. His longer attempts and recent history of misses under pressure make him vulnerable.
the the beauty is that I could load up on the other categories and I don't have to take kickers. So when you play loser ball, if there's a category you don't like, you just sit out on that one. So I've just decided I'm sitting out on kickers every week.
Okay, that's a strategy. I mean, the thing why I like the kickers is because they're important plays, and you can really root. I mean, and last night we didn't do the
Yeah.
Thursday games because we want to give people a couple more days to sign up, and there's still time. You have until Sunday, and you could win $500 first prize, 250 second prize, NFL jersey of your choice, third prize every week. Um, but those were fun, and it's like incredible joy when your kicker nails it against the
Yeah.
crossbar.
Are you sure you got those prizes right? Isn't it? First place is a Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Second place is a steak knives. Third place you're fired. Isn't that it?
Ginsu for everyone. I'm aging myself, right?
But wait, there's more. You get this special Ginsu knife with its 50-year guarantee. It slices, it dices, it julienne's fries. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, Rick Wolf pulling it out from an oldie but a goodie. Awesome. Always a pleasure, my friend. Anything else? Any other advice for the loser ball folks?
No, just go to loserball.com and play.
All right, awesome. Thanks, everybody. Good luck. May the worst team win, and we will see you next week.